is the Cantourage group and the growing demand for cannabis as a pharmaceutical product in the European market. Also, Cantourage is a German company, a German listed company in the scale segment. I will give more insights about cannabis as a pharmaceutical product. First, I have to also give you some more insights about Cantourage, the background. Cantourage was founded about 7 years ago by two persons who already were quite active in the cannabis market for many years. Because before they started to found and establish Cantourage as by far the biggest player in the European cannabis market, or the German cannabis market, with close to 100 million of revenue. They already founded another company, which they sold finally to Aurora Cannabis in Canada. And also the current CEO, Philippe Schetter, were before that also MD of Aurora Europe. So the entire management team, also part of the supervisory board, are quite well also established in the European market for pharmaceutical cannabis. Cantourage, one of Europe's leading medical cannabis company. We have a scalable asset-light platform with global sourcing. So what means asset-light? This means that our working capital requirements are significantly low because we finally pay the supplier once the product is sold with a certain share of the revenue. So if you will look at our balance sheet, our group balance sheet, you will see that. So we do not pre-finance the material. So we pay the supplier once the product is sold either to a pharmacy or to a retailer. Global sourcing means we're not only sourcing from, I think, the well-known regions of America or Canada. We source from all over the world the best product as a base product for our pharmaceutical cannabis or medizinischer Wirkstoff API. Strong revenue and growth in patient numbers since entering the market. I mentioned close to 100 million expected for this year. 5 years ago, we reported less than 1 million of revenue. Defined strategy for further expansion in Europe. Already mentioned in my introduction, we are registered in Germany. We are listed in Germany, but today we are active in 3 to 4 European countries. For sure, Germany. We're about 2/3 of the revenue, but also UK, a very fast-growing market for us. And also the Polish market is a growth market for us. There was just recently a press release where we expect to double the number of flowers imported in a very short notice of time, and also entering the market. But also to other growth markets, I will come later in my presentation. Yeah, and for sure, the continued momentum also we discuss here, and we had to ask a lot of questions. For sure, I had to ask a lot of questions in the last weeks since I'm with the company about the German legislation. But here I have to address at the beginning that the expected change in the medical cannabis law is only addressed how it is delivered finally to the end customer, to the patient. And we're not talking about the entire cannabis law and how it is defined in the German law. Yeah, medical cannabis. So we talk about medical cannabis, what it is used for, how it improves the quality of life. We talk about the 5 main areas of how indications: sleep disorders, ADHD, chronic pain, anxiety and disorders, depression, and some also in the field of women's health. We see and the market sees that cannabis is by far better than any other medical product used in that area. Why is Cantourage so fast growing? When we talk about fast growing, you have also to keep in mind that Cantourage reported for the fiscal year 2024 a group revenue of 51 million. By the end of the third quarter, we reported 75 million. And for the year end, we expect an even higher number, close to 100 million, because the addressable market, yeah, and here only highlighted three of the before mentioned five areas where we see indications possible. The addressable market is huge. We talk about, yeah, when we sum it up, more than 300 million people in Europe with sleep disorders, depression, anxiety, or chronic pain, yeah, and this is our market, and this is why Cantourage, especially Cantourage, there are other players in the market, but here also our benefit is our business model is growing that fast. And also you see it later on the very last slide of the presentation. We are growing also the last 2 years profitable. So we talk about EBITDA margin of more than 5%. The medical cannabis market already established in Europe. I have to read you the headline, and growing at a dynamic pace, yeah, because Europe is becoming the world's largest import market for medical cannabis, and as before, we are sourcing all over the world because of the quantities we're talking about. And also here a number for you, which is not shown in the presentation in detail. We are importing every year more than 10 tons of cannabis, which is processed either to a flower, high quality flower, or to a pharmaceutical product. Demand is rising rapidly. We also try and have a focus on how we can benefit from the market opening and also the elimination as a so-called Betäubungsmittel in the German law or in the European law, and also developing especially certain products to address to the market and distributing either via wholesalers or via our own telemedicine platform in Europe and UK at the time being. When you have a look at the left chart, you see in the right, you see also the milestones in the especially the German market. And everyone is considering that before mid of 2024, when the removal of cannabis from the list of narcotics, there were no growth market. Yeah, when you go back into the year 2017, when the first step of legalization happened in Germany, you see since 2017 an CAGR rate of more than 14.7 in exactly of 14% growth per year. So there were already a cannabis market before, a medical cannabis market before second quarter 2024. But the opening, the final legislation last year gave the market significant headwinds. And you see here also the market, more than tripled in the last 18 months almost. Yeah. So there were a market before, and there will be also a growing market next year and then the years to come for Cantourage and for the European medical cannabis market. What are we doing? What is our business model? What is our value chain? So we import, as already mentioned also here, we import globally certified growers worldwide, the cannabis flowers. We import them. We do the licensing of the entire product. We do the processing according to the local regulations into a medical product, either to a flower or to an API or a pharmaceutical product, and sell it either through a wholesaler to a final retailer, but here's the end customer, a wholesale company, or we're distributing it via our own telemedicine platform to pharmacies. And here's also what makes us unique, because we manage the full value chain. Also, when here a small exemption is we are not a grower. We use partners here all over the world. It's also why we see here vier dots here. We are not sourcing from just one mostly in Canada. We're sourcing it from more than 15 partners all over the world, including also New Zealand and Australia. We develop the product, we do the wholesale, we run telemedicine platforms, and this is our unique selling proposition in the European cannabis market. You hear some illustrations of different product categories. You see here the dried flowers in bags. They look quite small, but each of those bags is about 1 kilo, sold to pharmacies or wholesalers. You see here dronabinol solutions or cannabidiol solutions as API. And this is what we develop, what we are producing when we talk about dronabinol and cannabidiol, and sell it to our customer base. We also serve here the entire value chain. As we talk here from the entry products to high value. So also here from value to premium. So we have the entire product segment and assortment via also multi-brand strategy. We also keep, when you see here on the bags, the different names. It's always the name of the flower because they are very popular also in the community. So it's always with the extension processed by Cantourage. As already mentioned, we run a revenue share model, which lowers our own working capital demand to a minimum. And for sure, also, as already explained, we offer the full range of cannabis products today. One important KPI is also when we talk about the addressable market. The one is for sure when we talk about the addressable market and those 260 million addressable people today, we talk about also the demographic development, the demographic change, the biggest population group, the 50 years plus. So this is the addressable market. These are those people who either suffering from pain, chronic pain, sleep disorders, and so on. So there is a huge addressable market because also the demographic change, the demographic curve, but also especially for the younger population, also the higher acceptance of the digitalization of the pharmacy business or telemedicine offering. We see here a graph on the lower left side. The European telemedicine market is expected to grow from 2022. Here, the latest available number of about 20 billion in Europe is growing to close to 100 billion. So growing by 5 times in the next 10 years. And this is also why telemedicine platforms, especially also here in the medical cannabis market, are a significant, a very important strategic pillar of our growth. And here also we believe that we are a step ahead with the competition here, because we already have also linked them doctors to our platform. So what is demanded by the current proposal for legal change, that you need a first contact with in-person meeting. We already can showcase this with our own Telecom platform in Germany. The Telecom platform is the German product, and the Clinic or the Cantourage Clinic is our UK telemedicine platform. You see also what we are quite proud of is that our UK clinic also was the winner, was the cannabis clinic of the year this year. Our growth scenario, we are not a German player. We are domestic in Germany, in Berlin. This is our home turf, but as I said before, we are currently active in 3 different countries, in Europe: Germany, Great Britain, Poland, and with a small stick also with our APIs in Austria. And we're currently also considering that a market entry aligned with the legislation, with the opening of the market, to be also present sooner than later in France, Italy, and or Spain as new growth markets in the European medical cannabis. I mentioned already at the beginning of my presentation. You see here also the current numbers and historic numbers. 2020, 500,000 of revenue with an EBITDA of minus 500,000. Since 2023, more or less break even. Last year, 3 to 4 million of EBITDA, 50 million in 2025. We already in the first 9 months, we reported 75 million with an EBITDA of 4 million. So also 2025 will be a growth year for Cantourage. This is again my brief introduction about the company, and as said before, I'm again happy to answer any question arose from my presentation or you already had before.